You know, the recent passage of the Genius Act really reshapes the entire stablecoin landscape, setting up
Hmm.
clear federal rules which could, well, make waves globally.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Implementing a framework that demands one-to-one asset backing and full transparency from issuers. It's like giving stablecoins a whole new level of credibility, right?
Exactly. It's like, think about it. Issuers now not only need a federal license, but also a rigorous independent reserve audit to prove that each coin is backed by high quality liquid assets. That's huge for
Yeah,
institutional confidence.
it is. And when you consider institutional investors, all they want is that legal confidence that regulated, transparent stablecoins bring. It builds that trust necessary for large scale adoption.
Right? And that's the innovation and stability combo we all need. But one thing that caught my attention was the prohibition of yield bearing stablecoins. What do
Hmm.
you make of that?
Well, that prohibition really forces a clear distinction between payment focused stablecoins and those tokenized money market products that generate yield. It's a bit of a shakeup in decentralized finance, where a lot of people have previously relied on earning yield.
Yeah, exactly. It's like sort of drawing a hard line. If you want to earn from your asset, you can't just hold a fiat backed stablecoin anymore. You need to move to an alternative that's designed to offer yield.
Right, but that also might push innovation. There's potential for new hybrid products to emerge that clearly define their function, like pure payment tokens versus investment vehicles.
Absolutely. And in that sense, the Genius Act might actually encourage market players to innovate within a more defined regulatory space.
Hmm.
It's aiming to be both safe and forward thinking.
It does sound forward thinking, but I wonder if, well, some might argue this approach could limit certain creative financial products right now, especially in decentralized finance.
I get that. There's a bit of pushback, like some critics, in all fairness, say that taking yield off the table for stablecoins might slow down the evolution of some decentralized
Yeah,
finance strategies. But on the flip side, it might also reduce systemic risk.
true. Risk management is paramount, especially when we're talking about something that's integral to the global financial system. And then there's the institutional angle. Institutions will love the assured transparency.
Right, and speaking of global angles, the discussion on the divide between Europe and the US is fascinating too.
Hmm.
The US is clearly pushing for a framework that fosters innovation, while Europe seems more cautious with its digital euro initiative.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like a race. The US with its Genius Act versus Europe playing the slow and steady risk management card. Do you think Europe could be forced to accelerate its innovation?
I do think so. When a regulation like the Genius Act attracts new issuers and encourages novel use cases in the US, it puts pressure on European regulators to possibly open up the market a bit more if they want to stay competitive. It might spark some
Yeah,
much needed reform over there.
that's an interesting dynamic. Competition driving innovation, even in the regulatory space. But there's also the challenge of aligning international standards, isn't there?
Definitely. Global crypto regulation is a tricky beast. Even with the Genius Act in place, getting different nations to speak the same regulatory language is a complex task. It's like
Hmm.
trying to synchronize clocks in different time zones.
Exactly. Each region has its own risk appetite and cultural approach to regulation. While the US is all about fostering innovation with a robust framework, Europe may prefer a more conservative stance, prioritizing risk management over rapid expansion.
And that dichotomy might actually lead to market segmentation, where, say, payment focused stablecoins flourish in some areas, while yield generating tokenized assets become the norm elsewhere.
Yeah,
Essentially, regulation could lead to two distinct ecosystems.
right. And that might even redefine how crypto is used on a global scale. Imagine um, a world where not only the technology but the regulatory environment differs so much between regions that you start seeing very distinct financial behaviors.
Exactly. It's fascinating to think that legislation could steer financial innovation in such a granular way, and also how this could potentially reduce risks for everyday users, especially given the full transparency requirements mandated by the Act.
Absolutely. Transparency isn't just a buzzword here. It means that reserves are audited independently, and stablecoin holders will have a much clearer picture of what backs their assets. That's reassuring for everyone involved.
Right, and it establishes a level playing field for institutional investors as well. They can now evaluate the inherent risks with more clarity and confidence. It adds a layer of credibility that's been missing.
But here's a thought. Do you think that by strictly enforcing these standards, we risk stifling some of the experimental aspects that initially drove the crypto revolution?
That's a fair concern. I mean, while the Act certainly creates a safer playing field, it might also put limits on rapid experimentation, especially when it comes to novel financial products that fall outside traditional models. It's a bit of a trade-off between safety and creativity.
True, true. And while it's necessary to protect consumers and maintain financial stability, there's always the chance that too strict a framework could slow down innovative breakthroughs.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. The Genius Act seems to lean on the side of stability and transparency, which, in pooling institutional capital, is critical. Yet, we still hope that regulators remain flexible enough to adjust as the crypto landscape evolves.
Right, flexibility is key. Regulations need to adapt as new technologies and financial models come into existence. I'm curious to see how these policies will shape not just the US market, but the global stage.
Absolutely. And with an increasingly interconnected financial world, global cooperation on regulatory standards might just become the next big trend. It's like a domino effect, one region's policies triggering adjustments elsewhere.
Exactly. And the Genius Act might be the catalyst for many more reforms and innovations on the international front, setting benchmarks that could define digital finance for years to come.
So, in essence, what we're seeing is not just an isolated regulatory move, but the potential dawn of a new era in digital finance, where trust, transparency, and innovation all walk hand in hand. It's really exciting to watch.
It is indeed. I think while there are risks involved, especially around stifling some experimental projects, the overall move provides much needed clarity. And with clarity comes better, smarter innovation, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's like building a solid foundation before constructing a skyscraper. Once you know exactly what you're supported by, you can safely add all sorts of new levels and features. It's a good thing for the ecosystem in the long run.
Well said. And as we keep navigating this evolving landscape, it'll be crucial for policymakers to keep that balance, protecting stability while still encouraging groundbreaking ideas.
Definitely. And as the global dialogue on crypto regulation continues, we'll be watching closely to see how these trends influence the broader financial market. Growth, innovation, and safety, all in one big regulatory experiment.
It really is an exciting time for digital finance. It's like every step forward comes with its own set of challenges and opportunities. And honestly, that's what makes this space so dynamic.
Absolutely. So here's to hoping that as the Genius Act unfolds its impact, we see improved transparency, robust institutional engagement, and ultimately a more mature crypto market globally.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm excited to see the innovations that come out of these strengthened standards and how they might redefine the financial norms we've known so far.
And there you have it, a regulatory pivot that might just set the stage for the future of stablecoins and by extension, the entire digital finance ecosystem. Cheers to that.